Hi, welcome to the presentation of my study, which is titled Educational Technology and Metacognition. The essential question that I chose is how can educational technology help students develop their metacognitive strategies? And I decided to add my abstract, which explains a little bit about the reason why I decided to choose that question. It says the following. Throughout the past decade, Orchard Place Elementary, which is the school that I work for, has undergone a complete reformation of their educational technology. Previously, classrooms were equipped with overhead projectors, chalkboards, and a few desktops. Currently, chalkboards have been replaced by smartboards. Overhead projectors were replaced by document cameras, which work side by side with a smartboard. And classrooms have the opportunity to have each child working with a laptop or iPad. It was left to the discretion of teachers how to use the new technology that arrived in their classroom. The data in this research showed evidence that learning at Orchard Place Elementary is scattered rather than holistic. I observed classrooms that use traditional educational technology, electronic devices, as a means to an end. Students are sitting down completing online projects that do not match the core of the curriculum, hence making learning fragmented rather than holistic. It is then our task to successfully integrate these new powerful tools to further develop metacognitive strategies, thus reducing the fragmentation of curriculum implementation. The participants for this study were 1st to 5th grade classroom teachers from Orchard Place Elementary. For the methods that I use qualitative and quantitative data gathered in this study through 4 interviews, 4 observations, and 1 survey. The purpose of these instruments was to identify the kind of educational technology being utilized to plan and implement tasks that develop students' metacognitive strategies. This is one of the instruments that I use. It's a learning walk template. This is what I use to gather data when I observed the 4 classrooms. Here are the interview questions, which have a purpose, 2 purposes. Finding out what teachers believe is educational technology, and how do they use educational technology to help students think critically about the curriculum. And the survey questions have the same purpose, but it gave me a bigger sample. Since I interviewed 4 teachers in the survey, I was able to collect data from 10 classroom teachers, which also included resource staff. The summary of the data. Here is what I saw in the survey, what I deemed important. One of the questions in the survey said, what teaching tools do you use to help students think critically about the curriculum? Something that I found interesting was that every single teacher mentioned either a Web 2.0 tool or an online program. No teachers mentioned any other hardware that could be qualified as educational technology. This is another question that I think was important to analyze this survey was what type of technology restricts you from creating and implementing your curriculum. And 100% of the teachers that were surveyed mentioned that it was either server problems, bad internet connections, or apps that don't work. They didn't talk about other technology that, for example, having a bad structure to switch in literacy centers, technology that helps students keep organized. That was not mentioned. The focus was only on electronic devices. Next question said, how often do you use educational technology tools in your classroom? Some teachers mentioned once a week, 2 to 3 times a week, 7 said every day. In my opinion, technology, pedagogy, and technology, pedagogy, and content is intertwined. So one cannot really exist without the other. So that was interesting to observe and to see that some teachers really think that they only use technology 2 to 3 times a week or even once a week. And the reason why they think that is because they are relating educational technology just to electronic software. Next question that I think is important for us to look at is, do you think students should depend on educational technology tools in order to complete rigorous tasks? Now, in my opinion, educational technology is absolutely necessary to complete any task because my definition of educational technology involves any process, method, hardware that is used to facilitate learning. However, some teachers, since their definition only applies to electronic devices, some of them thought that it was not necessary and were neutral about whether educational technology was necessary to complete rigorous tasks. Now, the data gathered to the interview revealed that 75% of the interviewees thought that educational technology solely applied to electronic hardware. In my opinion, this perspective can impact the curriculum design and implementation process. Specifically, I think a narrow perspective hinders teachers' abilities to select other educational technology that could deliver curriculum at its appropriate modality. Similar to a domino effect, limiting the selection of appropriate technology tools could hinder curriculum planning as well as negatively influence the teaching of higher order thinking skills throughout a unit of study. Now, when these interviewees were asked to describe how they use curriculum and their tools, all of them agreed that they first analyze the curriculum and then select the appropriate technology. They all mentioned cross-curricular planning, and teacher B and C actually said, start with the task and the goal and then find a way to incorporate project-based tech to lead the instruction. Teacher C said, you need to understand what the students really need to know and then add technology into it. Now, I wonder if these four teachers' definition of educational technology, if it expanded to other areas, how would it impact their curriculum design and its execution? If they actually become aware that educational technology is not just electronic devices, that it is also processes and routines that they establish, how would it impact their curriculum execution? Now, through my classroom observations, there were 4 classrooms observed, and I noticed that teachers at Orchard Place Elementary use all kinds of technology in the classroom. They have graphic organizers, base 10 blocks, charts, established routines, cooperative grouping systems, highlighters. I even saw a 4th grade teacher using sticky notes, pencils, and charts in order to teach higher order thinking. So there is evidence that some teachers at Orchard Place Elementary are in fact using educational technology that is not electronic based to teach a curriculum and metacognitive strategies. In conclusion, and my recommendations, I said that based upon the data that I gathered through a survey, interviews, and classroom observations, I became convinced of the following conclusions. I realized that educational technology has always existed and has always been an integral part of education. That is why it is so important that we add the new technology to what is already working. It would be a mistake to simply use the new electronic devices as the primary vehicle for teaching and learning. I now realize how important it is to design curriculum instruction using educational technology selected to facilitate real-world experiences. So, in conclusion, it is my hypothesis that because we're now teaching at a time when there is a new birth of technology, curriculum planners will be wise to incorporate this new technology with what already exists and works. Electronic devices are not the panacea of curriculum implementation that allows children to explore concepts and strive for higher order thinking. Instead, it is just another tool.